that our chair is nice and stable. So it's not something that we are sort of second guessing or thinking about within the movement. So nice stable base. And I want you to be sat towards the edge of the chair and with your knees at approximately 90 degrees. I don't mind if they're slightly further in, okay? But we don't want to have the feet underneath us like this. Yeah, we want to feel that we're nice and stable again here. Nice, good base. Spread your toes really wide. Relax your shoulders. And we're just going to have a moment of internal focus. So we're going to take our attention and just feel your body. Notice your body in space. And this isn't necessarily analyzing, it's just observing. So there's nothing to fix, there's nothing to change. It's just noticing how your body is today. And being curious and wondering, this is how I'm feeling. This is how I'm breathing. So we might notice the breath, or even tension in the body. We might notice areas that maybe feel less supported. Take a few more deep breaths in, just asking or inviting the breath to come deeper into the body. And now I'm going to ask you to notice your center line. So I want you to notice the ball of your big toe, follow to the heel, come up the inside of your legs and notice your sit bones. And then at the sit bones, just bring your attention to your pubic bone and gently draw the pubic bone up behind your navel and into the back of your body. Notice the bra strap area and then lengthen up through the back of the neck all the way to the base of your skull. And then bring your attention to your little toes, the outside border of your foot to your heel. Notice the outside of your lower leg, the outside of your knees, coming all the way up to the outside of your pelvis. From the outside of your pelvis, notice your waistline all the way up into your armpits. And at your armpits, just draw down and find your little finger. So it's a feeling, armpit to little finger. And you can have your hands on your legs. You can have your hands by your side. And our diagonal line. The diagonal line, just the diagonal from the little toe across to the outside of the opposite side of your face. And then the little toe on the left to the side of your face on the right. There's a diagonal line. And breathe. Let's notice the front of the body. You've got a pubic bone, you've got your sternum and your third eye space, these 3 points at the front of your body. Opposing those 3 points, we have the sacrum, we have the bra line, and we have the base of the skull. So we have the front of the body, the back of the body, the center of our body, and the outside. And this is going to help to guide our movement today. Peripheral line is wide, divine line, the front, the back, and the diagonal. So let's just start with the hands onto the knee. And just notice your breath. In fact, put one hand on your tummy, one hand on your heart. And when you breathe in, find the front of your body, a little bit of an extended spine. And when you breathe out, just feel the softening, and notice how I just find the back of my body. I'm not really pushing into it. I'm just softening towards it. Breathing in, and I come towards the front. Breathing out and softening to the back. Can you pull on your feet to help draw you forward? And push on your feet to soften down. And notice how the head follows. As I come forward, my gaze lifts. As I push and move back, my gaze lowers. Breathing in, pulling, opening, lifting. Breathing out and softening. Notice how the hands come together. Breathing into the front of the body, a little forward of feet, a lengthening and extension, and an out breath. Soften. Can you find middle? And then put your hands on the inside of your knees and just push your knees and your hands and activate that divine line. Put your hands on the outside and press away with your legs. Feel your peripheral line. Again, on the inside and the outside, widening. The inside, out breath. The outside, in breath. How about one hand on the in, one hand on the out? And push with both. So I'm pushing and pushing. And then I swap. I push my knee against the inside hand and my other knee against the outside hand. And again, pushing, soften, pushing, and soften. One more time, pushing, and soften, and pushing, and soften. Good. Now, take your hands and place your hands behind your knees. So the middle finger is just behind the back of the knee. And we're going to push with the foot. We're going to push into the back of the thigh. Now I'm going to make this movement a little bigger. So I'm exhaling, gaze, hold on to the top of the knees and draw into the front of the body. Breathing out, push into the back. Coming in, moving into the front. Allow the breath to drive it or kind of ride the breath. Out breath. Feel how the pelvis rotates back, the ribs and my head and my pubic bone come towards each other. Then forward into the front. Place your right hand on the inside of your knee and let your left hand slide up. And I'm pushing my right and my left hand against my right knee and left hand against each other. Then comes center. Left hand, right, yeah, you know what I mean. Inner thigh and the knee, a hand and the knee pushing. And center. Then the other side, I push as my hand glides up, rotating the ribs. And center. Again, rotating. And center. Rotating. And center. So we're just going to go through those combinations. Hands at the back of the knee, move into the back of the body. Hands on the top of the knee, still on the feet, into the front of the body. And then rotate, look to the right. And soften. Rotate to the left. And soften. One more time. Into the back of the body, lean. Into the front of the body, grow. and come back to center, then spiral on the diagonal and center, and spiral on the diagonal and center. Take your feet wide and reach your right arm up. Side bend, elbow to the knee. Keep your right rib hip down and just lean into those right ribs. Then come center and soften. Now the side lifting and side bending. Then coming up and center. Again, check in with yourself. As your tension, are you breathing? Softening into the movement and coming up and center. Again, reach and side and up and center. We're going to add rotation, lifting and side, and then rotate, coming back round to the side and coming up and soften. So we don't want to kind of force our body into these movements, okay? We want to just explore, say, oh, I wonder if I can go a little further. How does that feel? And as I rotate, I want my upper arm to come with me. Yeah, so my palm will end up facing upwards. I then turn and my upper arm rotates back. I come up and soften. We do that one more time. Inhale, reach. Exhale, side. And rotate and bring that arm bone round. Then we go back to the side and we come up and soften. Bring your feet back together. And we're going to just work with a bit of undulation. So all of the same things we're doing, but we're just going to think, okay, I'm going to have my hands behind my knee. I'm going to send my pelvis, then my up middle, then my upper and my head. I'm going to pull with feet and hands and move my pelvis, my middle back, my upper back, head and pelvis, middle, upper, head and pelvis, lower, middle, upper, head and pelvis, lower, middle, upper, head. So get your eyes to be thinking, where am I looking? Here to my navel and pull. And as I extend, I look up. Now I'm going to start from my head. So I bring the head down and then articulate through the spine. And then I lead with my head and articulate through the spine. Lead with the head, pushing feet away. Pull with the feet to guide me forward. One more time. Head, upper, middle, lower. Head, upper, middle, and lower. Then can you lift one half of your pelvis up and then the other? Can you lift one side and the other? And when you do this, how's your breathing? And now can you circle? So just again, the movement range is really whatever, dictated by what you feel. But we're trying to move around the edges of our sit bone. We're going side, front, side, and back. And we're breathing, relaxed in the jaw. And again, allowing the ribs and the head to follow. Change direction. And I want you to be really kind of respectful of what you feel. And sometimes it's nice to put this on a scale. Okay, so if you think of a 1 to 0 to 10, and if you're moving and you feel that it's like a 4, but then you do something that goes up to a 6, you need to sort of pay attention. You never need to go beyond the 6. You never need to push into movement that is taking you up into the 8s or 9s. But just think, because sometimes we feel something different, but it's still quite low on the scale. And that doesn't mean we have to stop. It means we observe and we notice and we move with more curiosity. So bring our pelvis back to center. And we're going to go 1 forward and 1 back. So instead of lifting now, we're going 1 forward and 1 back. It's like you're walking through your sit bones. And notice your feet pulling and pushing, how the feet are actively involved. Let your shoulders and your ribs move. Breathe. And then come back to the center. Can you move your rib cage side to side? This is always a really nice kind of sequence to come back to when we've maybe been, sedentary for a long time or not really sort of done much variation of movement. Just giving our brain and that body that reminder of how the body is able to move in such a variety of ways. Can you circle your ribs now? And as you circle, you're breathing. And again, allow the head to integrate with the movement of the ribs. And then we're going to go the other direction. Notice again how this is moving to your feet, how the pelvis feeling those different parts of the seat, so the front, the sides, the back, the ribs moving as well. Guys, we're going to come back to the center. And now we're going to do one that I really find quite hard. I obviously keep my head very still in normal life. We're going to send the head to the side, and center, and the other side, and center, side, center, side, center. And you've got to breathe. Then we come back to center. And can you go forward? And can you go back? Can you translate head forward? Can you translate back? Center, forward, center, back, center, forward, center, back, center. Now we're going to go a circle with the head. So the head circling in one direction. If in doubt, breathe out. And like this. And then the other way. And center. Really nice. So now I want us to just think of the right hip. So I'm going to swing my right hip back and forward. Just my right. So my thigh is move, my knee will move back and forward as I move my pelvis forward and back on that right side. Yeah, then see if you can do a circling action. So forward and back. circling. So it's like a little back and back. And then the other way, back up and forward, back up and forward. Breathe. Good. Shoulders relaxed. And good. Now we're going to add the ribs. So we're going to go the other way again. So I go down, my ribs go, and my rib and shoulder follow. Pelvis, rib, shoulder. Pelvis, rib, and shoulder. And again. So it's a rotational movement, back and the other way. So now I go up, back and in, up, back and in, up, back and in, up, back and in. Let's do the other side. Moving it back and forward to start with. Shifting. So we're kind of working on this, almost this rotational movement. And the pelvis is very much like those two wheels, one rotating forwards and back. This one is moving, this one is responding to what this side is doing. So as this one comes forward, I want to keep this one back. Yep. There's more of that. Don't worry too much about that. Just get this hip moving forwards and back. It's like it's a wheel and it's rolling forward and back. Sit bone out, sit bone under, out and under. We're trying to move it quietly, well, separate from this one. So they're not both going at the same time, which is what we've already practiced. Yep, so we're getting this movement. Out. Now, can you make it into a circle? So we go back, up, and over, back, up, and over. Just speaking to those really kind of smaller, stabilizing muscles and change direction. Just thinking of that hip moving back and then forward. Really nourishing that hip joint, moving through the back of the pelvis, sacroiliac. And then we're going to go back to the other direction, but add your ribs. So I go back, I let my ribs go. And then my rib and shoulder come through too. So pelvis, ribs, shoulder. And again, and kind of, it's really nice thinking, okay, do I have more control of this side? Do I have less control of this side? And there's always going to be a difference, okay, because we use our body differently in our day-to-day lives, and we have clearer communication pathways. And we're going to go the other way. So back, shoulder, ribs, pelvis. And shoulder, ribs, pelvis. And again, notice how the feet, yeah, how we really, I'm pushing and pulling. I'm pushing and pulling. One more. And center. Good. Now our head, we're going to go to the right. I take my head back round. So it's like a figure 8. And we go the other way. My head goes down. Center, head down, goes back, around, and center. Down, around. Anybody's got the same noises I'm hearing? I'm hoping that's quite normal. lots of crackling in my ears, on my neck. Let's go the other way. So now I'm going to go up I look over my shoulder, and then I come round and forward. I look up, I look around my shoulder, down and forward. I look up and around my shoulder, down and forward, looking up, around my shoulder, down and forward. Good. So hopefully now we feel less tension in the body. Hopefully we feel like we've kind of communicated more. And we're just gonna, before I do, we're just gonna get the hips and then we're gonna come back to the arms and onto the mat. So with our feet, with your feet, are you able to lift your heels, go on the outside of your feet? See how my hips and knees open, and then back round. I come in, up and round. So I'm going on my toes to the little toe, to the outside of my foot heel, coming up, over, in and round, up, over, in and round. Big toe to little toe, outside foot heel, inside foot toes. One more time, big toe, little toe, and circle round. Let's go the other way. Big toe through the inside of the foot to the outside of the heel round, inside of the foot, outside and round. See how that lovely, the limbs of the lower leg, of the lower body, yeah, how they follow, integrating that hip on my thighs, external, internal rotation. I feel the outside of my foot, little touch, big toe, inside of the foot heel, and in, around, and down. Now just plant your feet. Can you lift your big toe and down? This is probably the hardest exercise you'll ever be asked to do. Lift your little toe and down. Big toe, little toe. Now try not to do this with the knees with this one. Big toe, little toe, big toe. Now don't worry, it's not, it doesn't matter if your other toes lift as well, but I want you to think of the outside of your foot lifting, the inside. So big toe, little toe, big toes up, little toes up, big toe, little toe, big toe, little toe. Good. Hopefully the more repetitions you do, you think, yeah, I've got this. And 4, 3, 2, and 1. Then roll all the toes down and windscreen wiper. Try not to lift the feet. I want your knees to stay still or forward, and your lower leg is moving the feet side to side. We're not lifting, we're not doing this. Yeah, we're gliding. And then we're going to come and they're going to go opposite, out and in. Oh, I'm not very good at this one, the in bit. Oh, out and in. Oops, this needs more work in my body. Oh, it's a lot of work in my front of my lower leg. And then come back to the center, and we're going to caterpillar walk. So I'm rolling my toes and walking my feet out. And I'm going to take them out. Sorry if you've lost my feet on camera, but I'm still doing the caterpillar walk until I reach, as far as I can. My legs can go straight. And then I'm going to reverse it. So now I crumple, push and lift. Crumple, push and lift. Crumple, push and lift. Crumple, push and lift. And I come in again. Then I go out again. Crumple, 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 crumple. And this time I want you to stay with your legs out in front of you. The legs can be straight. Actually, it might be better if I do it from this angle. My legs are out in front, and I'm going to bend the knees and flex my feet. I'm going to point and push away. Yep, to try and get those toes down if you can. Stay on your sit bones. And then I'm going to bend the knees, pull my feet up, maintaining stable and good alignment through the trunk. And then point and pull and point and pull and point, push, pull and point. Now, once I've pulled my feet up, I'm going to open and I'm going to circle them. Pull them up, open, circle, up, open, circle, up, open, circle, reverse it, out, open, round and point, up, round and point, up, round and point, up, round, point, one more. And then we're going to do one and the other, point and push. And so get really good if you have like limited movement in the ankles, especially in that pointing action, working into the soles of the feet, pulling and pushing, 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Bring your feet in. And now just with your, on the edge of your seat, I want you to start to jump your feet up and down. So I don't want you to keep leaning back. I want you to pull up. So it's my feet. I'm working to lift, 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 push, springing off my toes. 4, 3, 2, 1. Then I'm going to start to open my legs. 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold it out wide. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And in, 2. You shouldn't be an elephant on your feet. Can be nice and light. 2, 1. And open. 2, 3. Stay upright. 4, 3, 2. And hold. Push. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And in. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, one leg at a time. Push, 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 push. Spring off the toes. Point, flex, point, flex, point, flex, point, flex. Really point. Pop, 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 pop. 4, 3, 2, 1. And rest. Woo! I don't think I actually took a breath then. So, oh, well done. So now I just want to work through from the hips. So from here, I want you to hinge forward. You can see how my spine is not bending. So I'm not doing this. I want to move in my hips, and I'm going to move my hip socket over my pelvis, over the top of the ball joint. So we're going to bend. I'm going to let my sit bones widen, and I'm going to bring my arms in front. And as I bring my arms forward, I want my upper arm bone to turn out a little. So I'm going to come forward, keep my spine, and just can you reach your arms? It doesn't matter how far they go, okay? But I want you to think of not being here. Yeah, think about a long spine right the way out. And then you're going to come back and you're going to sit back over your center. So the fingers spiral, you hinge forward, keeping that length in your spine, none of this. So you're really trying to sit your sit bones back behind you. And then from here, can you lift your arms a little bit more? And then bring them back down and soften. Spiral the arms forward, hinge forward. And then when you're there, can you take the weight over your feet and lift your bottom? Yeah, can you do that? Then you're going to sit your bottom back down and sit up. So we hinge, keeping the length, reaching as if you're trying to, you know, if you're saying to someone, help, can you help me up here? But you don't need that help because you find your center point. Yeah, I'm bringing my center above my base. Then I can sit back and come up. We'll try it again. So remember, a few weeks ago, we spoke about the center, our center of gravity. If I'm shifting from my chair that's supporting me, I want to bring it forward over my base. So sometimes it's easier if you bring your feet a little bit closer to your body. Okay, that does depend on mobility, knees and ankles, but it's actually really nice for the knees and ankles to do this. It's just loading them in a nice sort of functional way. So bringing the legs in closer if you found that difficult to get out of the chair, but we're going to hinge now, bringing the arms forward. Then you're going to lift, and then you're going to stand. Then you're going to sit back. Then you're going to lower with control and come up again. Good. So we hinge. Let this arm rotate out. So we're not here. We don't want this tension in the shoulders. Reach. Then we're going to lift. And then we're going to stand. And sitting back. Bottom controlling and down. One more. Hinging, nice long spine. Lifting, hips come forward and we're over our base. Hips back. You see how my knees actually have to travel forward? I'm not doing this. As I want to sit down, my knees have to travel forward so that I have that control rather than falling backwards into the chair that way. So we want to keep the knees tracking forward, the hips going back and finding that control. Now we're going to go, I'm going to step one leg in front of the other, and then I'm going to come forwards with the opposite arm. So we're getting more of a hinge in this leg, there. Then we come up. We're going to swap legs and we swap arms, hinging. So if I go this way again, you'll see I'm looking for a nice flat back and I'm ready to get onto this leg. So you could almost kind of be ready to come up. Yep, so you can actually do that. Then this hand is going to guide you back. So we connect, sit, bone down. Hope you've got no jokers in your house that are going to whip the chair away, shaking it, because it doesn't matter. There's absolutely no one in the room, but I still think, is my chair going to be there? And then we're going to bring the other side up and down. Swap and up and down. Swap up and down. Swap up and down. Good. Getting the weight over these legs. Good. So this is great, obviously, for function, but also, you know, just all that organization of the body. Are your shoulders relaxed? Or are you trying to pull yourself up with your shoulders? Can you feel the weight over your support leg, which is your front leg? You're going to roll yourself onto that leg to come up and then center. Good. So now I just want to do a little bit of a right leg dropping down, and I'm going to let you let this leg just hang. Yeah, let it hang. So from the side, it's going to look a little bit like this. You're going to let that leg just drop down. And then I want you to take it out to the side. Keep that knee out to the side. Turn your center of your ribs over your front leg and then hinge over that leg. But keep this knee wide. Yeah, and you want to try and almost pull on this right leg. So you're coming down. Keep this one out. So we're getting a nice inner thigh stretch. Then come up. And then bring your right foot in front of you. Again, that lovely hinging of the hip. So when we're in this hamstring stretch, again, I want you to keep your back. So you're moving in your hips, not moving in your spine, because that's not going to change a lot of what's happening around the soft tissues around the pelvic area. Yeah, so it's all connected, and we want to just try and really find as much space as we can. And again, we do that whole thing again on the right leg. So we drop it down, and I want you to take a breath here, relax your shoulders, and let this lovely long thigh bone just drop underneath your hip. And I kind of maybe from here, just think about tilting your pelvis backwards a little bit. Yeah, and you may feel just a little bit more kind of intentional kind of lengthening of the tissue in the front of the hip. Stay upright and shoulders relaxed, and make sure we're breathing. And then we're going to take this right leg out to the side as much as your hip will allow. Then we're going to come forward over the front knee. So my left sit bone is really going back, and I want to maybe just go, okay, knee, you can stay out there. Feel the peripheral line. Lovely. Then come up, bring that leg forward, pull the toes up, and again, from your hip crease, come forward. Think of your back being long, all the way out through to the crown of the head, smiling across your collarbones and breathing. And then come up. I'm going to get you to just pop the foot onto the thigh this time. And I want you to now just bring your body forward. And again, we don't need to bring it into the shoulders. And as much as you can, I want you to just, again, think about hinging from your hips. So it's very tempting. I see this a lot where people are like this, trying to get this stretch. Okay, and what we're doing here is we're just avoiding hip flexion, and I'm throwing it into my spinal flexion. So if you can get your foot on and then come forward at the hip socket or the hip joint, it doesn't matter how far you've gone, but you'll probably feel a lot more attention in the outside of that right hip, the back of that hip joint. Really, those tissues really have to open out. And this thigh is rotating. Allow it to rotate rather than pushing down. Think about it spiraling, rather than getting there, yeah? It's just allowing the bones to move in the way that they have, or the way they're designed. When we try and think about moving differently to that, we're just going to create tension, and then we go, my hips are really tight. So these bones not only need to move within space, so my knees going down, but my bones need to move around the joints, around each other. Then cross your knee, and then turn, and just hold on to this knee and take your hand towards the back of your chair and just turn your body and just think again, this whole lateral, your peripheral line, almost lean into it. Yeah, so we're not pulling away. I want you to almost lean into it. And then come back to center, uncross the legs. So notice how the side that we've mobilized, moved and stretched feels compared to the other. It's a really nice observation for your nervous system to have. So if you move like this, you might think, oh yeah, my right hip feels really juicy and really supple, and yeah, I just feel like I've got more awareness of it. Now I've got the sun coming straight in. Bear with me, I'm going to put my blind down a little bit more. So let's – Sorry, guys. Let's start with the other leg. So we're going to now start by dropping your left knee underneath your hip. So here, there, good. So that knee lowers down. And again, we want to let this thigh, if you think of the thigh bone being like a heavy rope, just hanging from the socket, let your arms be like the same. And then can you get a little bit of a tilt backwards, but without the knee shooting forwards at the same time? So we're just trying to open up through the front of that hip. And then we're going to take the knee out to the side and then hinge forward over that right hip. And this knee, stay aware of your peripheral line. And you can even have that arm there to just push it away and get a nice inner thigh stretch. Come up, place the left leg out in front of you. You can pull the toe up, keep your spine nice and long, and hinge forward. Yeah, again, don't make the mistake of just doing this. I want you to come over with a lengthened spine. Then come up again, knee drops, and open into the front of the hip. Breathe. And the knee out to the side, and come forward, and up, leg in front, and forward, and up, knee under, and drop it, and out to the side, and forwards, keeping this peripheral line, and up, and hamstring, forward, and up. And we're going to add in this time, but we'll go back to the hamstring, let that drop and open. Then let the knee open out to the side and come over that side and up into your hamstring, shoulders relaxed, are you breathing? And up. And then we're going to take it into the knee onto the thigh. And yeah. So you can see, you might not observe, but you might notice, look how high this knee is compared to this knee. So you're going to have these imbalances. I'm not, you know, yeah. For me, this is one that just catches me all the time, but it's work in progress. And now I need to think, okay, how am I going to make my knee go down? Well, do I push it really hard and make it get lower as the other one? What's wrong with me? Or do I take a deep breath and allow my hips to soften and just allow this sense of rotation in my bone? And allowing it to move within the hip socket. And then you can make the decision. How does that feel? Do I want to challenge this by flexing my hips? And remember, this isn't about the spine. Do I want to here? Well, that's worked wonders already. Do I want to? No. Do I want to hinge forward? And how's that feeling? And can I soften? Because for me, whenever we talked about that scale, when I'm here, I'm at a 6 or a 7 in my hip. I'm definitely a 6 or a 7. So I've kind of got a choice here. I can just pause, depending on how that's my rest of my body is responding. So if I'm getting tense, back off. Yeah, allow your body to stay in a nice, relaxed state. If I can just go back into that place, how does that feel? So this is just like an example of how we can explore within our own bodies. We're not going to go, oh, you know, I can do it the other side. I'm going to make it have that sort of range, but more about that conversation with what you're feeling and how you respond to that. What can help that joint to move better? More tension? No. More softness? Absolutely yes. How to create softness? To create softness through asking for softness. What does that feel in my body when I ask for softness? Well, I need to breathe deeply. I need to let my breath out. And I also can think about, okay, what if I just tapped around that area? What if I ask my body just to pay a little bit more, my brain to just say, you know, I'm feeling quite tight around this area. So let's just see if we can create any more softening. And then, so now I haven't gone any further, but the experience in my body is significantly nicer. I'm here, but I'm at a 5, whereas here before I was at a 7. And we want this to be the experience that we remember physically as a feel in our body. And it's not about the picture, it's my feeling. And then I come up and cross the leg. Then I take my hand and I'm going to rotate my body around. So I hope that just gives you an example of how you can kind of communicate with your own body. It was an opportunity for me to do that as I was feeling. It's much easier to teach when it's actually real for this type of stuff, as opposed to, you know, trying to predict it. Because what I feel in my body could be very different to what you're experiencing. But that suggestion that you push through tension or restrictions is never going to give you a lasting result. Come back to the center, uncross your legs. Ooh. I feel like my leg might actually just have a mind of its own for a minute. Good. So now let's just take it into, so I'm not going to get the mat work in today, but that's okay, because the chair, we've kind of covered all the major joints and explored different places. I'd just like to finish with a little bit more from the arms and thoracic. So it really is nice when we stand up that we feel open and supported. So hands by the side, let's just spiral the little fingers, and notice how my long arm bones spiral as they turn out. I'm going to start to come into the front of my body, and I'm going to reach my arms up. It's like a yawn as I reach. And then I'm going to spiral. And as I spiral, I start to move into the back of my body. And again, my gaze is down. So we've kind of done this pattern. I'm pushing into the back, into my sacrum, brala. And then I'm going to spiral, and I'm going to lift into the front. Breath out, and we move into the back. Breath in, and we move into the front. And again, out, breath, and in, breath, up, and hands together, wrap and lean into your back. Pull down. Soften forward and up. Breathe in. And breathe out. And come back. Center. So now we're going to take this arm back, and I'm going to reach. Again, it's my diagonal line. And then come back and soften. We go the other side. Left hand, right hand onto the outside of this knee. Yep. This arm scoots and I'm going to let this hip go back. And then forward. And the other side, reaching. And softening. And reaching. And softening. One more each side. Reach. And down. And reach. And down. Good. Then we're going to go the other way. So my little pinky comes forward, and then I reach and open, and then I'm going to come back and onto that knee. I reach and open back, and then come up and soften. Right arm reaches and comes back. Let's just do 4 on this arm. So I'm going to come forward with this arm, and then I'm going to reach and open back, and then up and forward and reach and back. We'll do the same on the other side. So I reach, spiral, reach back, and then come forward and reach back and forward and reach back and forward. So now we're going to do a circle. So it's like a backstroke. No, it's like a front crawl. So this arm is going to go down, comes over. I lift my ribs, and then I spiral and reach. Same side, down, back, over, and forward, down, up, and over. Let's go to the other side. Arm goes back. I lift, and I lift my ribs, and my head comes to, and spiral. Drop down, hip, rib, shoulder, arm, and round. Again, hip, rib, shoulder, arm, up, up, up. Oh, yes. Down, round. One more time. Down, back, and across. And center. Now we're going to do backstroke. Right arm. Up, round, and then I come round and I scoop. I reach, I lift, back and scoop. Lift and reach and scoop. Under last time, up, spiral, round and scoop. Let's do the other side. Up, oh yeah, up, round, and scoop. Up, round, and scoop. Up, round, and scoop. One more time. Think feet, think hip, think pelvis, ribs, and spine. And center. Let's do both together. Push, so here, feet, pelvis, push. Then as I pull, my arms come up and I open. And then I push. And as they come over, I open. One more time. Breathing out, breathing in, and reverse it. I pull into the front, and I push into the back. Pull into the front, and push into the back. One more time. Pull into your front body and push into the back. And then just find your center. One hand on your heart and the other hand on your tummy. Bring your attention to your breath.